Breaking news as Roy Hodgson steps down as Crystal Palace manager and has been replaced by Oliver Glasner. And I think due to recent illness in Roy Hodgson, his age, that this is likely the last time that we'll see Roy Hodgson in the dugout as a manager. Maybe he'll return sort of on a temporary basis to help a club out till the end of a season, but I don't think as a full-time manager that we'll ever see Roy Hodgson again take up the role as head coach. It's quite sad. I have a lot of respect for Roy Hodgson, despite sort of his abilities during his time as England manager. But he has overall been a fairly good manager, sort of a, let's say, mid-table level manager. He's gotten some very good results out of teams that you wouldn't expect would do as well as they did. I think that as a character, he's a very nice guy, a very good guy, a very loyal guy, a very old school kind of guy, with very old school sort of definitely working class characteristics. And I have a lot of respect for a guy like that. I want to take you through sort of some of the clubs that he's managed very quickly. Let's go through that. So, as I said, he is getting old. He's now 76 years old. He obviously had a fairly decent senior career as a footballer. He played for Crystal Palace and a couple of other sort of smaller teams. As a manager, he sort of came onto the scene. I became first aware of him towards the end of his role as Switzerland manager. He then goes off to Inter Milan, which was a massive deal. He was there for 2 years. He then went on to Blackburn Rovers, who were a big team at that time. Inter Milan as the caretaker manager. He then goes off to Grasshoppers and Copenhagen and Udinese, United Arab Emirates, Viking. He was then the manager of Finland, which was when he cropped up on my radar again. And obviously we all know him as probably best known for being the Fulham manager. He then gets the job at Liverpool. Didn't do too well at Liverpool. I think that was probably a step above his abilities. But, you know, he was a decent manager for Liverpool. West Bromwich Albion, and then England manager for 4 years. Obviously, the results and the performances under him during that period were not particularly good. But I think that at the time that he was probably one of the two best candidates to be in consideration for that role. I think that at the time Harry Redknapp should have gotten that job, but Roy Hodgson was probably the second best choice that could have been made, and he did the best job that he could representing his country, and I'm sure that he was very proud to do that for the time that he did. He then gets the job at Crystal Palace the first time around, and he did a pretty good job at Crystal Palace whilst he was there. He was sacked. After Crystal Palace, he goes on to Watford, and then he goes back to Crystal Palace for the reign of management that has just ended. And I think he's done a fairly good job at Crystal Palace. He's kept him in the Premier League. He's a very good sort of maintenance manager, a very good manager for keeping sort of smaller teams in the Premier League. He's sort of one of those managers who's not good enough to be a top tier Premier League manager, but he's also too good for the Championship. And he's had a really good career off of it, and a lot of respect for Roy Hodgson. And I hope that if he does retire, if we don't see him again after this, I hope that he has a happy retirement, and I wish him all the best for the future. Good luck, Roy Hodgson. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Comment down below what you think of Roy Hodgson's career, either as a player or a manager or both, and have a great day.